subscribers sending me pictures of things like this. Look at this. Here's the moon, obscured by chemtrails, as always. But look what's right next to it. He sent me a series of pictures. Watch this. This other planet or body is right next to the moon. Is this why they're chemtrailing us so bad? Is something actually coming in?
No need to point it out. It's very obvious. And these are just different filters that I'm using. I'm replaying the original footage through different filters now, just to try to bring out different perspectives. There's a X-ray format. You can see there's clearly something moving under the sun that's independent of the sun. Look at that. And then this is the last one here. And you can clearly see something moving in the sky in the proximity of the sun. Appears to be underneath the sun. If you look closely at some of these first segments, you can see it's behind the clouds. The purple is clouds. And if you go to the original, which is here, you can also see
if we turn down the sun a little bit, and that brings the Earth's energy more into balance, and that could reduce some of the risks like extreme storms or extreme temperature.
But the point of this video is to prove that the moon simulator, the sun simulator, and how many there are, who knows, but they are modular and they can build them bigger and bigger and bigger. When was this first created is a question I get asked, and I'm going to venture a guess somewhere they began this project in 1985. Due to the patent and the Strategic Defense Initiative that had started the building project of this amazing project, modular, building it one hexagonal piece at a time. So let's look at the photographic evidence of this.
This mammoth object sets next to the left of our sun, causing very pinkish red skies on those nights in the lower 48 states where we are lucky enough to see a piece of the horizon through heavy chemtrail cloud cover. As the sun moves westward, the sun simulator, explained in many previous videos, puts out an enormous amount of glare in an attempt to engulf this huge object in glare, rendering it non-viewable. This glare engulfing feature is what causes our sun to have the appearance of changing sizes dramatically throughout the day. Viewers may recall that the other day we saw the sun about 30 times its normal size from the south-facing weather cam in Kipnuk, Alaska. This same gigantic tan-colored planet that we see every morning, clouds permitting, from the southwest-facing camera at the military base in Elmendorf, Richardson, Alaska. There is a third object on the right edge of the screen. Remember this, because we will see that again later. The sun appears to take on a contorted shape as the sun simulator engulfs this object in glare to make it non-viewable. Clouds permitting, we see this same huge object rising next to the sun every morning from the southeast-facing weather cam located in Cheakamus Canyon, British Columbia in Canada. Our real sun is the smaller light on the left, and the gigantic tan orb, now highly illuminated by the sun simulator, is on the right. The concealment jet, explained in detail in our March 21st video, maintains perfect alignment with the center of the sun simulator and the eclipsing planet, sending signals to the sun simulator regarding the various types of concealment, be it glare engulfing, blurring, or shadowing. Odd-shaped reflections of this concealment jet are visible near the bottom of the screen. In the last frame, we see the blurring mechanism applied. Eventually, this gigantic object becomes blurred and then fades away into the transparency of the atmospheric chemicals. On the southwest-facing camera in Skagway, Alaska, we see the late afternoon sun getting low and approaching these same two objects again that we saw from the military base and the Hoonah, Alaska cameras. Soon they will be setting to the left and to the right of our sun, causing red and pink skies to the left and to the right of our sun. The sun simulator takes on a contorted shape in order to cover the closest object in glare, and we see the odd-shaped reflections of the concealment jet swing across the screen. The south-facing weather cam in Talkeetna, Alaska, shows another eclipse with a large planet full of craters. Notice the airplane-shaped reflection of the concealment jet, which aligns itself with the eclipsing planet and the black center of the sun simulator for optimum concealment. This planet has some very interesting craters and texture to it, which are really brought out with some contrast applied. From Old Harbor, Alaska, we see the black dot reflecting upon the water, proving that it is not a camera issue, but an actual piece of equipment. From the weather cam in Taslina, Tulsona, we see the concealment jet in action again, closely following a transparent planet, barely even visible with contrast applied to it. Reflections of this jet swing across the lower part of the screen as the sun approaches the planet in preparation for an eclipse. Notice how the reflections of the jet equipment line themselves up with the eclipsing planet and the center of the sun simulator. These objects are part of an approaching celestial system. Many people ask when the system will make its closest pass to our Earth. A general indication of time is provided in the following screens of text. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe.
Stuff like this video right here. Things like this are just really, really odd to me because then you see images like this.
Hey, listeners who've never seen these videos before, I'm going to again show you and further explain the cloaking device or lens system and fake artificial sunlight. There are two separate. So here is the emitter light. This is the light source. It's probably a mercury lamp lighting system, but this is actual light. On the reverse side is the cooling system for this. And next,
these solar simulators are incredibly real, and we've been telling you about this for almost a year now. The biggest question that stands is what happened to our sun? Where is our sun? Because I can look outside with binoculars right at the sun, and it doesn't harm my eyes. That's not how it works.
As you can see, it was taken on the 16th of the 6th, 2017 at 8:35 a.m. in the morning. And you can clearly see there's something landing outside. Yet again, exactly the same, different type filter. That shouldn't exist because our sun is round and it's not a triangle. That tells me that. So don't forget, this is not a picture, this is a thermal image. So to get a picture like this, well, what can I say? And you can clearly see that there's different, we've got our sun and we've got something around the outside. We shouldn't be getting that, not on thermal. That means to me that there's actually something there. And you can clearly see the whiter it is, the hotter it is. And we've got a cooling effect that's going on around the outside. But there's absolutely nothing wrong. There's nothing in front of the sun, of course there's not, you know. You can see the reflection off the clouds and all the other bits and pieces, but we should not get this around the outside.
Here comes the hexagon, right there. See that? So that's a perfect match, at least structurally, with what we saw in South Dakota. another hexagon. Only this time it appears to be moving in the center of the sun. I've never seen anything like that. I've seen hundreds, probably thousands of pictures of the sun and sky over the years, and that's a first. Gotta admit, that's a first. This one here was very unique also. This is the one from the monument in South Dakota, Crazy Horse, South Dakota. And you can see there almost appears to be two, but definitely one. Now back to, there's these objects still at 6 and 1. It almost looks like it's, I don't know, dipping into the clouds. The clouds are moving around it or something. It kind of looks that way, but maybe not. Now, the reason I say that is because of this photograph, the way I've got it adjusted. I've really got things tweaked on this one. And you can see the clouds almost look like they are moving around this thing. But maybe not. I don't know. Remember a few weeks back, a photo surfaced. A gentleman sent it to me from Crazy Horse, South Dakota. And in the photograph, a hexagon appeared in the upper left-hand corner. He didn't notice this hexagon until many weeks after the fact. There was no direct sunlight involved in the photograph that could create maybe a lens ray or a glare. It was just a simple photograph, and this hexagon appeared in the sky. He sent it to me to look at. I kind of compared it to the sun simulator because it does have similarities, but we don't know for sure what we're dealing with here. It almost looks like there's two. If you look at it real close, you can see an outline of one here to the left, and then one down here just off center a few degrees to the right. Whether it is two or not, I have no idea. But either way, it's kind of neat. Don't know what it is, but it does have an uncanny resemblance to the sun simulator. And the sun simulator is not a conspiracy. It's actually a real thing. But
now this video right here was captured by a channel called the Zion Warrior. And he's not into the religion of Zion. But watch this. There's the sun with the black dot in the center, correct? Watch when he zooms in. Are you seeing that cube? Do you see that? Right in the middle of the sun. And of course, that's some sort of camera malfunction or whatever to the effect. The problem is, he was only able to capture this on certain days in June and July, and then again last week it came back. Other than that, he couldn't capture it at all. What I'm talking about in this video is the same stuff that I was talking about at the beginning of the year, the sun simulator. The sun simulator. Everybody sent me hundreds of images of what appears to be the fake sun. We found patents on the fake sun. Like this video I put up in March of this year, which shows the fake sun. It shows the simulator, and I realized that there are sun simulators on the planet that they use to simulate the sun in underground bunkers, so forth and so on. But everybody's watched this video, everybody's mirrored this video, copied this video, and had their thoughts on this video. But it appears that for the first time, one of the large New World Order companies, Boeing in particular, has actually shown this for the first time without a doubt. And it's a huge case of predictive programming. A subscriber sent me the link to this video a couple of days ago. I showed this yesterday in the live stream, and I'm going to show it to you right now. We weren't wrong. All those people that believe that they have a sun simulating satellite or machine were not wrong, because Boeing actually puts it right out there. Several people have put out videos showing how they could cloak such an object, and I believe a lot of us have actually caught photos of it or video of it.
The bit of footage when it's just about yet again. Let's zoom in and just have a look, and there you can see it is just there, black line around the outside. Why would there be a black line? It is a black and white filter. This is what I'm trying to impress on everybody. That is not right in any way, shape or form. And as the sun simulator comes down, oh look what we get there. Yeah, you've got to ask yourself very, very carefully, and you can see the lensing system around the outside very, very clearly in this. Yeah, that's normal in everybody's book. Yep. that's for sure. And you can see just as it disappears into the distance.
Good afternoon again. It's January 8th, 2018, 12:42 p.m. Sun simulator breaking down big time. Sorry about the last video. I don't know why it just suddenly cut off. Look at that. Definitely something happening. I'm guessing that's the sun simulator, or maybe where that the sun's supposed to be, and it's breaking down and reforming, but the blueness is definitely something. And look at that dark shadow to the left. Stupid sun simulator formed again, but I had a little bit of it breaking down, and if it flashing blue beam coming through again. Got an object to the left side of the sun simulator coming out.
Straight away, something happens. This is, I don't know how to explain this. We've got this black line around the outside, and it's consistent in every bit of footage I'm just about to show you. And I've actually checked other footage that I've got, and it comes back exactly the same. And this to me proves that this is artificial. You can clearly see it going through the sky, the sun simulator, and there's the lensing system, and that sticks out just like a sore thumb. A kaleidoscope of light coming off and obscuring everything that's behind it and around it. Let's very quickly look at the facts. We've got a colour picture that looks like this. We've got the black object in the centre of the sun simulator. We've got the reflection on the water. Let's have a look at the next picture. We apply the filter, and hey presto, we get this black object in the centre, which is no longer black. It's got black ring around it, and that leads me to believe it is an object. It is a foreign object. It is an LED bank of lights, and I've got proof of that because I made a video called LED Sun Simulator, Is That Possible? And you can see the LED banks of lights just here. We've decreased the brightness and the contrast. So this is what makes me believe that this is a projected image onto a lens, which is just here. And what is going on there? Really, come on. It just looks like the sea or the water is meeting. Yeah, there's something going on there. How low is this lens? You know, is it floating through Alaska? Or is it up there in the sky? How big this lens is, I'm not really too sure. But what I can see is I'm looking at a 2D picture. And yeah, it is a 2D picture to all intents and purposes, but it has no depth. It just looks strange. It looks like it's going the wrong way in the sky. Right, let's also pay attention to the time, because the time now is 9:42. The sun started to rise at 6:22. Okay, so it's been up in the sky for quite some time, and if you notice how dark the skies are, so is something being eclipsed, and that's why they got the sun simulator out. I'm sure it is. By the way, I have not used any filters, colours or anything on this in any way, shape or form. This is exactly the way it came off the camera, believe it or not. The sky is intensely red, and yeah, it's just starting to brighten up over here. You can see it's not what I would call really, really bright.
Pictures are amazing. And you want to tell me that there's no sun simulator and we see these things? You're trying to tell me that we don't have a sun simulator?
On the FAA camera, we can see it actually being used here. This can be dimmed up and dimmed down as they see fit. Again, here, this is the patent. The light is generated, it bounces back on the mirror, reflects back through the parabolic mirror, goes through the hole, bounces onto this spinning Fresnel lens, which is that black spot you see in the sky, and this bounces out to the earth. This is what we see. And because the source of light is hexagonal, the sun is hexagonal, as I'll show you in the next video. And then the second part of the system is this one. Do not be confused. This system here these lights are lenses in space approximately, excuse me, let me show you the video here, 248 miles into space. I say that because that is the lowest flying altitude, because the lower the altitude, the smaller the lens. So they got to be practical and keep it cheap. So here we see this oscillating lens here going back and forth as the thing floats and continues. I believe these to be affixed, all attached to one another by a giant orbiting solar powered radio telescope controlled device, which this could even be a type of smart glass also out there. Okay, so next I want to get to the next point is.
Okay, so here we have just a kind of a bobo picture of the sun simulator. Okay, so here we have our sun. This is the device manufactured by Bausch & Lomb and Lockheed Martin. So basically what it does is takes our sun that has moved far away from the orbit where the sun's rays and heat no longer give valuable, stuff towards the Earth, as it's moved far away outside an elliptical orbit, who knows, or maybe another planet has passed in front of it and stole its thunder. Who knows the reason why they would put up a sun simulator, but everyone's noticing that what's in the sky right now isn't the same as the yellow sun you remember. It burns white, it burns hotter, and no one wants to go out in the sun anymore. How it's not torching all the plant life yet is beyond me. Maybe they're spraying something within the chemtrails that's keeping the plants alive. Some type of chlorophyll, or who knows. But anyway, this is the sun. This is the sun's rays projecting into this like cathode ray tube. Well, it has this receiver here, and this cathode ray tube that projects, enhances the sun's rays and projects them on, like, people think it's a spinning glass center. Some people say it's round, some people say it's square. I think that's when sometimes with certain cameras, when you point the camera at this, what we think is the sun, you're getting this outside lens array, but sometimes you get that black center, and sometimes it looks like it's spinning. I think that's what that is right there. It's basically the mirror that reflects the cathode rays tubes and then spins them in a high speed rate, so it's sending pulsated rays across this lens array. It's sending pulsated rays across this lens array, and then it projects down to the Earth and looks like a sun. Now, what I'm about to show you is a sunset video taken at about 500 feet with my drone. I think I get a reflection of this, the cathode ray. Okay? Here we go.
But look what happens when you do a little bit of filtering on this picture. Right? Right? And then here's these classic sundogs like we talked about. Again, I just want to explain to you guys, when you see this, these lights around the sun, either at the 0, 90, 180, 260 degrees, what you're seeing, or 280 degrees, what you're seeing, whatever, I can't do math. What you're seeing is really the prism effect of this sun simulator basically shooting out the focal point in 4 different directions. It's a very complex system, very simple to understand how they do it. Here's a picture. Oh my God, guys. This is an interesting picture that was taken from a train in Denmark. And in the first picture, nothing. Second picture, Jacob's Ladder, or some such thing. Interesting stuff.
This is going to blow you away. Let's go back in time before the sunset. Here we can see all these little hexagonal objects. Watches. The chemtrailers must have slept in that day. And those things are driven by AI, by the way, artificial intelligence. All the pilots have to do is get on the plane and lift off and take off. They have a detonation device in case there's any falling out. Now watch what happens when this chemtrail, see this hexagonal object here? This projected image, because there's so many lenses on the system. Watch what happens when the chemtrail gal gets in front of it. Look at that. I got to zoom in on that one. See that? That's as clear as day. So here you have the sun simulator looking like the Star of David with all these shadowy objects with this huge, exposing this giant honeycomb lens system right in front of a chemtrail cloud. There you go. It has been weaponized. So it is a directed energy weapon, such as the ones we used in the California fires. Now, it uses to form an electrically conductive laser-induced plasma channel. That's a mouthful. What that really means is when they turn this laser on from the source to the target, like the surface of the Earth, it ionizes the gas, the oxygen, and the nitrogen around the laser beam itself, forming a channel which will set up a current. An ionized gas, like you see in a fluorescent tube, allows electricity to flow from top to bottom. And we go a little further down to this laser-induced plasma channel. Emits a beam of laser into the air. The laser beam rapidly heats and ionizes the surrounding gases to form plasma. The plasma forms electrically conductive plasma channel. That's exactly what happened in that moon photo. Now, this is not a patent. This is used technology, publicly traded. Applies Energetics, formerly Ionitron, develops directed energy weapons for the military and has produced a device called the Joint IED Neutralizer. It is for, they could use it for wherever they want. Look at this. This is where I think it began construction on this simulator's Death Star, whatever you want to call it. In 1985 was tested an electro laser and its targets on aircraft. Strategic, it was known as the Phoenix Project within the Strategic Defense Initiative. That was initiated in 1983, the same year that the IRS telescope, the infrared telescope, spotted the Nibiru system planets in 1983. Chemtrail efforts to hide this incoming planet. So here we can see these airplanes right here frantically trying to hide this incoming system with these chemtrail clouds. And here you go. It's not working anymore. See the chemtrails in front of the planet. It's out of focus thanks to the lensing system. There's two of them. One, two. Now look at them dropping this chemtrail cloud. See? That is not contrail, it's chemtrail. See how it's just dropping out, falling? It's not even cloud-like. It's a free chemical. It just, yeah, we don't need to get all into that. Let's watch the next couple video frames of this one. I love this one though because you see the chemtrail in front of it, not something on the lens. See, chemtrail in front. Okay, see that, everybody? That's why the chemtrail, to diffuse the lens, to hide the out-of-focus planets, but it's getting more and more difficult, as we'll see next. These two planets, not Nibiru, the other ones. Nibiru would be a little further out in space than this one. Look at that. So you notice the chemtrails on the outside. Look very careful. Not a spot on the lens. Look at the light from the sun reflecting from this thing. And what is that? Another planet or a lens system? Wow. That thing's getting close. And by the way, they dim this thing up. They turn up the brightness of that hexagonal sun, fake sun, because the Nibiru and all these planets hide in the brightness. But they can't turn this thing up brighter anymore. As we saw in that photograph I saw, that thing is at maximum brightness. After a while, it just won't work because it can only get so bright. Okay, chemtrails in front of the gas. Yeah. So this is the northeast facing camera. We're going to watch the moon come up. We're going to watch it in slow motion. We're going to watch it on another camera and on 2 different days. Changes size, changes shape, goes from round to square, lights up the lens array in the background. See all these little lenses here? We need someone to talk about this planet too. And all these little circular objects we see in the sky, they're pulling this planet out of focus so you don't see it, making this look like a projection. How many full moons are you going to have in a day anyways? This one gets crazy, right? I'm going to zoom in on that one. Well, I'm going to watch it so many different ways. You have the purple skies. It looks white. We lose its characteristic. It explodes into size, and we see all these rings. Those are the lens arrays lighting up. I think that's like the shot of the day right there. Look at all those rings, just like I showed you in my other video. Okay. Again, I keep also want to note that this thing strangely disappears. Okay, so if it's not in the camera, why is it hide? Why is this flare hiding behind a cloud, and then go into a full circle and then even disappear again? But wait, this is the part I want to show you when the moon sets. Here comes the moon. Wow, that looks like a full moon to me, but it shouldn't be. It should be almost a new moon. And what are these 2 objects tracking with it? Oh, those are stars. Oh, really? Okay, I give you that, but it shouldn't track perfectly with the moon because the moon orbits around the Earth. That means the star should be a little out of sync. What do we got here? Looks like a partially eclipsed planet to me. Does moon have a visitor going with it? Yeah, and you can even make out the midnight chemtrails to try and hide this. Look at that. That is just a full moon, but it shouldn't be. Wait, it gets weird. Watch this. Oh, look, kind of back the way it should be, a partially eclipsed moon. Did you see that? Did you see that? Look at that. What's happening to our moon? The moon should never just go from a full moon to a partially eclipsed moon like it should be. And what are those objects traveling with it? Unbelievable. Look at that full moon. I'm going to go watch this tonight with my own camera. See the International Space Station, take a nice look at that. That's on the space station. We see it all the time. You can go on and look at it. Here we see during the California fire, somebody snapped a shot of the green laser coming from the moon. Right? Okay. And then we get nice unchemtrailed sunset. All looks exactly the same. And now we get this plasma arc reaction from the moon. Well. You know, kind of show you what we're viewing here. Roughly the sun simulator this device here is the arc lamp, and according to the patent, it's an 1800 watt lamp. It emits the light. This focuses all this energy in one direction and bounces it back through a bunch of 4 group of lenses. So 4 lenses per arc lamp in this setup. In here we can see looking down on this array of lenses. Here are the arc lamps. See the little arc in here? There's all this outline. So each lens, there's 4 for each one of these. With that being put out of the way, we've seen this components. Let's look at the proof of some of the lens arrays that's out here. In this is the addictedsports.com. We can see the moon. This is supposed to be the moon, right? This is, I'd like to leave a link for this. This is crazy, right? And we can see the reflection. reflection of the green lens array reflecting on the water. And we can see our interesting object here, that they're hiding this object. Again, we still see this moon, and the next frame we can go Y. We can see the planetary object and the moon simulator looking something exact right out of there's your shadowy round object right from the web camera. Lapse halo. We've been seeing these now. This shows many things. First, I'm going to fake the inner fake sun that changes diameter because it's fake. Its light is approaching us at angles. It can change size. Watch it go small and big. Small and big. Yet the true light of the sun is from the outside, being bent by the lens array also, is not changing diameter like the inner sun. Okay? So it's totally unaffected on the outside light. And the fact that this is an eclipse is why they have this. The light of the sun is being obscured, and sometimes it obscures the light. If it's blocking this, it can block the light of the moon. So we must put a moon simulator in place for mass panic control. And many people have reported in many pictures that we have a new moon, and it should be a full moon. We've got partial moon, back to a full moon, back to a new moon. I've made videos about it. Go back to my archives. That look at right here, we can see the light is not even finished. You can't call this a natural halo, and you can't even call this clouds because we're getting like this reddish rainbow look, but it's not even all the prisms. If that was water, then I want a full color spectrum. Greens, reds, purples, or, well, we already have orange, but we don't have blue or green. Where's the rainbow colors? So we know that those are chemicals.
Now, this is an old Freemasonic drawing, and it shows exactly the same exact image that we're seeing in real life. Exactly. You see that right there, directly in the center of this sun image, the Freemasonic sun image, with their two pillars, Boaz and Jachin. It's right there. It's identical, absolutely identical. Absolutely identical. And a lot of people have said that's the digital camera. It has a built-in feature that causes this effect. The only problem is we've tested a variety